I want to talk today about fake news. In our reading from John this morning, Philip found Nathanael and told him, "We have found the one Moses wrote about in the law, and about whom the prophets also wrote, Jesus of Nazareth." And Nathanael said, "Fake news." Now, he didn't actually say fake news. He said, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" But the meaning is the same. I don't believe you. That is fake news. The phrase fake news only became common after 2016, although the idea has been around a lot longer. In the last 4 years since 2016, concerns around fake news have grown massively. This is particularly about social media and the spread of fake news there. With social media, anyone can write a story and put it on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and others can share it, and before long it's gone around the world. But it might be completely false. There is a whole industry now of people producing fake news to put online to try to influence others. Even on Friday just gone, the BBC reported that some people of Asian origin in this country are refusing to have the coronavirus vaccine because of fake news they are being targeted with. One person was quoted, "Some of the videos are quite disturbing, especially when you actually see the person reporting it is a medic and telling you that the vaccine is going to alter your DNA. For a layperson, it is very confusing. And also when you read that the ingredients in the vaccine are derived from a cow, and as Hindus the cow is sacred to us, it is disturbing." Now, none of that is true. The virus doesn't alter your DNA, and none of the ingredients come from animals. It's fake news. But because it influences people not to have the vaccine, it can have real-world consequences. The king of fake news, or of claiming that news is fake, is one Donald Trump. You may have heard of him. For the last 4 years, Donald Trump has been crying fake news on Twitter, usually when a journalist or some other politician confronts him with a fact or a question he doesn't like. To Trump, the mainstream media are the lamestream media. And the biggest fake news of all to Trump is that he lost the presidential election. On Boxing Day, Trump tweeted, "Courts are bad, the FBI and justice didn't do their job, and the United States election system looks like that of a third world country. Freedom of the press has been gone for a long time. It is fake news. And now we have big tech to deal with. But when it is all over, and this period of time becomes just another ugly chapter in our country's history, we will win." That tweet from just 3 weeks ago hasn't aged well, has it? Trump alleged again and again that the presidential election was fixed, that he won a landslide victory, and that when the truth came out, he would be shown to be right. Trump's problem is that after 62 court cases, including in the Supreme Court, not one court in the whole United States found the evidence he said was there. Election officials from Trump's own party across the United States said repeatedly that the election was free and fair. It turns out the person who was peddling fake news was Trump himself. And look where that's got him after the events of the last couple of weeks. You might be wondering why I'm talking about all this today. Well, it's because truth matters. And it should matter to us as followers of Jesus. We follow a man who claimed to be truth in a person. I am the way and the truth and the life, said Jesus. But even back at the time of Jesus, truth was being questioned. People were claiming fake news. When Jesus was in front of the Roman governor, Pilate, he said this, "For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice." And Pilate asked Jesus, "What is truth?" Fake news has a long history. Paul tells us in Ephesians that we as the church must no longer be children, tossed to and fro and blown about by every wind of doctrine, by people's trickery, by their craftiness in deceitful scheming. But speaking the truth in love, we must grow up in every way into Him who is the head, into Christ. To us as Christians, therefore, truth should matter. And we should speak the truth to one another, encouraging one another in the truth of what we know. Having said that, this is much easier, I think, to do in person than it is online. All this online stuff we're doing at the moment is okay, but it's no substitute for being part of a physical community in person. And so I am so looking forward to the day when we can be together again, all of us, face to face. And it is hard to combat fake news on social media. I have a friend on Facebook who genuinely believes that Donald Trump won the presidential election. I've seen people try to debate with him on Facebook, and he has not shifted his opinion. I think it would be much easier to have a conversation with him in person, to be able to look him in the eye and say, "Really?" and to talk together. Having said that, it's not always easy to challenge fake news offline either. This week, out of the blue, I had a conversation with someone who thinks that the threat of the coronavirus pandemic has been exaggerated, and that actually it's largely all over. I didn't really know where to begin to respond to him, because day after day we see and hear doctors and nurses telling us how bad it truly is at the moment. And I don't know about you, but right now I know more people who have COVID than ever in the first wave back in March. So because I didn't know that person very well, and I was just so surprised at his attitude, I didn't challenge him. Perhaps next time I will. Because the reality is, we know this virus is serious and deadly. But there is good news about the pandemic, and this is not fake news. The lockdown that we are now in seems to be having an effect. Here are the most recent case numbers for Gosport. Cases are beginning to decline. And here's the same for Fareham. The good news is that this lockdown, which is disrupting our lives so much and causing so many problems for so many people, is working. Let's pray that it continues to do so. So, fake news. It's a problem, but there are things we can do. Let's make sure that what we say and what we post online and talk about offline is, to the best of our knowledge, true. When we see things we're not sure about, before we pass them on, we can check them out. Full Fact and the BBC's Reality Check are great websites for checking the truth of many stories. And there are other websites too. Do have a look. And let's remember that ultimately we follow the man who is the truth. Truth in a person, Jesus Christ. Nathanael asked, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" And the answer is absolutely. Jesus the Messiah, the one who helps us to see the truth about ourselves, about life and about this world. He came from Nazareth. He is the truth. So fake news is not the end of the story. And let's make sure that we, in our dealings, online and offline, are people who try to find and live as much as we can in the truth.